Accumulation.
Pardon me.
Yes.
Full sun at least 6 hours a day. Grow best in Florida tropical climate. Well-drained soil.
Well-drained soil might be. We can use one of the pots. Just because I think the soil will be fine if we add the rocks to it.
I'm actually happy. My mess is pretty much cleaned up. I had ready food. It looks great.
You're great. You're great. You're great. You stop. Oh, hush, you dramatic little brat. Where's the rig?
Oh my gosh. These are crazy.
Okay, we're about to have the call. I'm 2 minutes.
So good. It was so good.
Hi, my name is Kayla. I'm calling with E3. I'm looking to talk to Mary. E3 Party. We're a group of local investors.
Melissa, go get your passport. Let's go.
Hey, baby. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm a bit shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, he was the assistant. He was the assistant director for a few of my shows, but I didn't know that she was transitioning. I had no idea. And
Oh, yeah.
did you know?
Yeah, I found out. Yeah, I found out kind of late. My mom told me, actually. I don't remember how she found out, but...
Well, she was a teacher.
I think it was...
So I had
Lania?
What was that?
I think the name was Lania.
Alana, yeah. Something like that. So I'm finding more and more out. But if you have time, I'm doing a Zoom call right now. I'd love for you to join it to learn a little bit more about real estate. I want to talk to you about what we're doing, because now more than ever it's important so we can get housing for these individuals who are transitioning. You know, it's I'm still like shocked. Like I'm still really shocked.
Okay.
But it's
Yeah.
the link's on my Facebook page if you can join in real quick. If you can join in.
Okay. How much longer are you going to be?
It starts at 3, so I'm about to sign on right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Damn it, because I just got food. How long are you going to go for?
It's an hour. You can still bring home food and do what you got to do. That's fine. I'm not going to stop you.
Okay, cool.
I'm not going to see what you're doing,
Okay.
but at least give you some insight. So,
Yeah. On Zoom?
yeah, I'm going to also have it on Facebook Live. Oh my Lord, people. There are 10 people in the waiting room. I haven't even done anything yet. Oh my. Okay, I will see you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
These are really good. Oh, they're really light. They're like light.
Come on, Facebook. Oh shit. I was doing a Firebox.
Really good.
What? Shit, Zoom. Live on Facebook. All right, I'm starting, guys. Shh. Um, and look at that. This is so cool. Hello, everybody. How are you? Hi. Can everybody hear me? Oh,
We can hear you.
oh my. Oh, look at you. Where the hell have you been, boy? Where'd you go? You were Jesus. I finally found Jesus and he wants to mute himself. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. We actually just came out of the property for the appraisal.
Oh, really? Oh, you're doing the business. Who the hell knew? That's wonderful. How did the appraisal go?
It's going pretty good. The guy said he was going to run his numbers and then he'll go back to us. But everything he was saying, we're going to get what we were asking for.
That's fantastic, Jesus. I'm so proud of you. I love when people actually put their education into practice. It's amazing what you can accomplish when you do the work.
Yeah.
So you're all about, is it a flip? Is it a hold? Like, what's your idea for this property? Give me the, like.
It's a rental. This one's a rental.
Okay.
We got it 3 weeks ago. I think you saw that video. The one I posted, that's this property. So
That's
I'm actually
right.
on my way to make the hard money loan, the payment. Because for the first month, this is my first payment.
Oh, you're making it. Oh, that's always a fun payment to make. That's hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
So we love that. Well, did I lose you?
Yeah, go ahead. No.
No, we couldn't hear it. That's all right. Well, congratulations. We'll hear all about it. Your amazing wife has been bragging about. I shared it on my page because I want people to know that students are out there. People are still doing deals right now in this market. People are actually buying and selling. We just have to adapt our business model to actually take advantage of all these situations. And with that perfect segue, I might as well bring you guys the person who's best at adapting their business models in every situation, whether he wants to or not. For those of you who don't know, today we are joined by the incredible Mr. Pip Stehlik. Say hello, Pipper. Do I have to unmute you? Do you know how to mute yourself? Here you go. There you are. Say hi, Pip.
I really can't unmute myself. You have to do it.
Well, I can make you a co-host, but I'm scared to see what you would do with that information.
I don't know what I would do. I'm amazed at some of the people that are on this call right now.
Really?
I am seeing people I have.
Can I add something real quick?
Anybody but you, Jesus.
Tomorrow is the anniversary when we signed up, when we did our leap of faith.
Oh, it's already been a year?
It's already been a year. Tomorrow is the day, May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. That's when we signed in. We signed up for Elite.
Congratulations. See?
Well, there's a guy on here. He doesn't have a lot of hair. He's got headphones on, so he looks like he's landing a plane. His name is Alfonso. I haven't seen all the people on the group yet, but Alfonso, I met him, and he can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it was June or July 2012. Is that correct, Alfonso? So
yes. Oh, I can unmute myself. Yes, that was 2012. I can't believe
it was 2012. Okay, so 8 years ago. Alfonso, this is way more inspiration than I can ever give him. Alfonso, how many lease options have you guys done since you started the program? I don't know the answer. I haven't asked you this in forever.
It has been a while, Pip. It's so good to see your face. I got you pinned, so you're like on you're on my big screen here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
So it's been so we actually just closed. We sold back to our tenant buyers, so including all that, 154 last Friday.
So for motivation, guys, this is exactly the process. And I know Alfonso does it exactly the way I talked about it in all your classes. You bring an investor to the table. So you're bringing none of your own money, none of your own credit in most instances. And then you're basically just facilitating the whole deal for generally 50% of the profits. I think that's probably how you do most of yours. Is that right, Alfonso?
You got it. That's the playbook.
And it's a process, but you can build it to whatever level that you want. And Alfonso's a Canadian guy. So he's still in Toronto area? Is that where you're at?
Yeah, just outside, just in Hamilton, Ontario. I got my Tiger
Beautiful.
Cat shirt on today. For anybody who knows
Hamilton,
CFL.
Ontario. I haven't heard that in a while. So for all of you guys that are newer students, I see Marlon and I see Leanne, and I'm trying to think who else is even on here. Some people I don't have. Well, I got my San Diego folks from Dusty Lynn and all you guys. That's awesome. I'm just trying to see who's even on here. So that's pretty cool to see some of you guys that I haven't seen in a while. And there's obviously new people on here. Emily's on here. They'll let
Yeah.
anybody on Emily, won't they?
I really do. It's not they, it's me.
Oh, it's you? Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to call
I
you
have
they.
the power. Well, that's my
That's
preferred
awesome.
pronoun, so I take it.
Now, I got to ask, Tim Alton, where are you from? That name sounds very familiar. Tim Alton, where are you from? If you can. Oh, Tim Sai's on here. I said hello to him. That's awesome. Tim Sai. Tim Sai. Tim Sai, when did you get in the program? 2010?
2010.
Good night. Oh, my gosh. So, Jacob, you're having me pull out all the really old school kind of stuff here. So, very cool.
If we're going to pull out something old, who better than Pip?
There you go. About as old as it gets here.
So we're going to get started with some of the meat and potatoes here. And what I wanted to do first, though, if I could have everybody, if you are on Facebook, which apparently just restarted again, if you would give it a like, or everybody here on Zoom, if you would like us on Facebook, what we're trying to do, by doing that, it boosts up on the algorithm. So when you guys do in your business, it'll help you get some traction. But what I'm really trying to do is I want to reach it so that people who are part of Elite can actually see what we're doing and get support that we're doing. So try to give it a like so we can try to boost our algorithm, see what we're doing, and see if we can help as many people as we can. So, Pipper,
What's
how
up?
you doing, handsome?
Well, I'm doing great. I realized I should have had my glass. Oh, I found my glasses. Okay, I should have my glasses on to read stuff that people are typing because I can't see anything.
Well, that's all right. Do you miss
Age
me?
thing.
Do you miss all of us?
No, I don't even miss you at all, Jacob.
I'm not surprised. My heart's breaking. Too bad I don't have one at the moment. So I loaned it to a girlfriend of mine. So Pip, why don't you tell us, for the people who are just watching from home in their pajamas, eating their bonbons and not doing their business, tell us a little about who you are and what makes you impressive. Because frankly, I forget.
Nothing makes me impressive. The impressive ones are Tim Sai, Alfonso that are on these calls right now because they sat in the program 2010, 2012. I sat in there as a student in 2002. And most all of you guys have heard my story. I was working in a family-owned grocery business. So I didn't have a lot of time to do real estate and did the real estate stuff on the side. And within a short period of time, we created a lot of properties. That was 2002 to 2005. In 2005, they asked me to come on as a mentor. At the time, it used to be called Wealth Intelligence Academy. And then in 2005, I started mentoring. 2007, I started teaching. They changed the name to Tigrant in 2008, roughly. I've been teaching all over the world since then. 2007 to 2020, I've taught basic training real estate in 18 different countries across the world. I have no idea how many people I've helped mentor. Tim Sai, who's on the call right now.
Are you there? There you are.
He was actually years ago. I believe that must have been 2014 or 2015. Tim, I could be wrong on the time frames, but
You're never wrong on the time frame. It was 2014.
Okay, I just try to remember all the dates, and everybody always asks me how do I remember all the dates and numbers and everything, and it's because they're big days. I mean, I haven't talked to Alfonso in forever, and so to see him on there, for you guys like Marlon and Leanne and some of you guys that are newer. Just realize everybody sat in the same seat that you're sitting in now, where you're still struggling to get your first deal. And you got to use that as motivation. The pandemic or the issues that we have going on in the world today, use that as motivation. Are there going to be changes? Are there going to be differences? Of course. What are they going to be? I don't know. The one thing I can tell you is I know I'll probably step on somebody's toes when I say this, but there's a lot of noise going on out in the world today. And especially if you pull up Facebook, if you pull up LinkedIn or any of your social media stuff. I don't do Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how that all even, or people are communicating on Twitter and those kinds of things, but I'm assuming it's the same. The point I want to make is every time I open up Facebook or LinkedIn, There's a lot of noise of people telling you, this is what you should do in this market. This is what you should do in this market. I'm going to give you my 2 cents on this. And like I said, it may step on some people's toes. I don't think anybody knows what to do in this market. And if they tell you they do, I think it's a hope. But I was fortunate enough to invest through the 2008 global financial crisis, even the 2001 to 2002 crisis that we had with 9/11. And so in both of those instances, I think this is totally different. We didn't have government. We didn't have people saying, don't pay your rent. It's okay. We'll forgive rent for the next 30, 60, 90 days. We didn't have 30 million plus people on unemployment. If I can give you a statistic that I heard that is sobering, and that's why if anybody tells you they know what to do, I'm going to say, I don't think so. And here's why. And Jacob, I don't know if that's what you even wanted me to talk about. This is what I want to talk about though.
Well, I can't stop you even if I try.
Exactly right. And so my opinion is, if you go back and look, and I don't know before this time frame, I don't know, and I heard an economist talking about in 2000, or probably in mid-1970s, and this before a lot of you guys were even born. When I was a kid, there was stagflation and inflation, high unemployment, a lot of different things going on. Oil was crazy. If you thought people were lining up to get toilet paper, people were lining up to put gas in their cars when I was a kid. So I've seen different things, not the same things, but weird things. There's no doubt about it. And I'm sure some of you guys that were born and raised in other countries, you probably have other crazy stories too that you could share. The point I want to make was unemployment in the mid-1970s, there was 1.9 million people unemployed. That was high for the time. In 1982, we had probably the worst recession we had ever had up until since the Great Depression. And in 1982, unemployment was 14, 15, 16%. There were 2 million people unemployed. In 91, 2001, even 2008, the most unemployment we ever had was 2.1 million. Well, we have now taken that, I think, times about 15. I think we're well over 30 million people have filed for unemployment in the last, whatever it is, 3, 4, 5 weeks. So if anybody's going to tell you that they know what the real estate market's going to do, I think they're crazy. I really do, because we've never seen anything like this. I think what we can plan on is there to be a lot of unsettling things happen in the next, and I'm not just saying 30, 60 days, I'm talking the next 2 years. I'm probably the most positive guy usually on everything, but I really think you're going to see a major recession in many areas for the next couple of years, which should actually, as for all of us on this call right now, should be smiling, because what that does is that allows us to find motivated sellers, motivated buyers, the whole thing that we need to be the best investors. Yeah, it's great when you buy a property and it goes up 20, 30, 40% in a few years. But it's hard to find discounted properties when properties are going up at an extremely high rate. So I think the fact that we're going to have a recession, the fact that we're going to have more unemployment, the fact that we're going to have a lot of people out needing places to live gives us a huge benefit. I would be careful. I was just on a call with Tariq El Moussa. I don't know, what's today? Today's Monday, so Thursday or Friday of last week. And we were talking about rehab, and in a down market, it's challenging to do rehab. So as we were talking, it comes down to we need to understand to go back to the basics of wholesaling, and that's going to be there no matter what happens in the market. Mm-hmm. The challenge is going to be making sure you have your buyers in place. So the buyers database is always going to be necessary in that. Your lease options are going to be fine no matter what the market's doing. It's easier in an up market to get appreciation on property, but it's easier to find tenant buyers in discounted properties in a down market. So you've got both sides of it there. And so I think there's always going to be opportunities and options to do that. And so I think rather than me sitting here saying, here's what you should do in this market, it really comes back down to the fundamentals, the basics. If you're a sports fan, I think in any sports related thing, the best teams have the best fundamentals. And those fundamentals are buying at a discount, adding value, making offers, having exits. It's the same 7 rules I've taught ever since I've been a teacher. And as a student, I learned the same things. Being legal, having integrity, having exits, all those kinds of things. those 7 disciplines, those 7 fundamentals are the same. And I think one of the things that we have to exercise right now, and I was on a call, I know Leanne and Marlon, you were on another call that we were having, I think it was Saturday. I've been on so many different calls, I can't remember who I was talking to, who was there. But I know Marlon and Leanne were on a call with me on Saturday. And one of the things that I said, I think we need to exercise a little bit of patience. I had a seller that I was making an offer on properties, and I asked for, it was a portfolio of 6 properties. He's asking $1 million for the $1,095,000 for the portfolio. Portfolio is what's down by you, Jacob. It's Pompano Beach area.
That's literally where I live. Yes.
Okay,
I'll take
so
it.
I'm buying properties from beside you. That's good. I'm glad I'm competing with you, Jacob, of all people. That's awesome. So that's good.
That's right. You want to go against the younger, newer model. Go ahead.
Exactly. And so the point being is, this guy wants, when we originally talked to him back in first part of April, he wanted all cash. I said, well, if you get that offer, I the best to you. I said, if you're not interested in some type of terms, I probably don't have time to work with you. He said, okay. A week later, he calls me back. He says, I'm interested in those terms. What does that mean? I said, well, let me put together an offer. And I put together the same offer I put in front of the class on Saturday afternoon. Every time I've taught this class, or taught that class for 13 years, it's called the Total Wealth Accumulation Offer. I call it the Jerry Maguire Offer. And I basically said, I will give you, and I started at 70 cents on the dollar with 100% seller finance. So I offered him $740,000, 100% seller financing at 3 or 4% interest, 30-year amortization, 5 to 10-year balloon payment, whatever he wanted. Well, I emailed him that offer, and guess what? Didn't hear a word from him. This morning, and I can show you the email if anybody wants to see it. I get an email from him today, and an email. You're not going to see it because you're not going to take the property from me, okay, Jacob?
I would never do that. I'd work
I'm just
with
giving you grief,
You
my
need boots
friend.
on the ground, and I have great shoes.
Yeah. So Randy sends me back, and he's basically, I hope all is going well. We're interested in working out a deal with you all. But you know what you offered isn't anywhere near what we talked about. If you'd like to reconsider, we're open. And so he's now getting a lot more motivated. And one of the things I said on the call on Saturday is I think if we exercise a little bit of patience, pain is going to start coming through, whether it's through unemployment, whether it's through tired landlords, whether it's through whatever other means. I think you're going to see starting in June, July, and then just a mushroom after that, huge opportunities to buy properties at huge discounts. I really believe that to be the case. And so I can't predict that. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm still making offers on properties. I bet since April 1, and I'm guesstimating April 1 since the middle of March, made over 1,000 offers on properties in that time frame. I've been sad. And when I say make offers, it's all through emails. So I'm not going and talking to very few people. It's all through emails. And I'm doing the exact same things you guys are probably doing. We do direct mail advertising. I got a radio ad going on now. I mean, it's the same thing that you guys are probably, if you're not there, you're going to get to at some point. And it's just a matter of putting those people together and solving problems. And so I think, even though I put it right up front with you, I haven't closed a deal in those 30 days, but I'm actually waiting because what I think is going to happen is the prices are going to continue to drop. And I know some of you guys have heard this story probably more than once because I've shared it in the last week or so. I had a guy in Fort Lauderdale. That's close to you as well, Jacob, right?
Yes, it is. I'm so glad you're in my market.
Yeah, it's okay. I knew you were there, so that's why I wanted to go in your market.
I'm so glad we have such a close relationship.
There's so many properties. I could do Fort Lauderdale, never even meet Jacob. That's the cool part about it. There's tons of them out there.
Wait, are you saying you'd rather not work with me in my market? Come again?
Yeah, I'd rather not work with you. I'd rather work your market, but not Anyway, the point I want to make is this realtor.
I'm sorry. We have lost Pip on the call. I don't know what happened. He has such bad service. I don't know where he is, everybody. So we also have Tim Sy on the call today.
Who's much better than I am, that's for sure. And so anyway, point I want to make is I had a realtor. I made an offer on all of his properties. He's a listing agent. I always like to work directly with the listing agents just so they don't have to share commission. That's a benefit in my opinion. And so, made offers on all his properties with all the offers I put out there. He emails me back and he says, Mr. Stehlik, I've got 32 properties on the MLS. This is the first week of April, by the way. He goes, I got 32 properties on the MLS. And he says, I'm assuming they're all going to sell at asking price. Thank you, but no thanks for your offers. And so think about that for just a second. He said that on April 1. Do you think there might be a different amount of motivation by May 1 or May 5th now or whatever we're going to be looking at? I fully intend to make offers on every one of those properties again here during this week. Why? Because I think those 32 properties, for his benefit, I hope he sold a half a dozen of them at asking price. But we all know that's not the real world. Properties are just not selling and closing as fast as they did prior to March 15th in any market. And I guess I can't really speak for where Tim and Alfonso are at because I haven't been paying attention to the Canadian market, but I'm assuming they can address that as well. I think it's valid to say, though, that if we can just wait it out to June, July, start putting the fundamentals in place over the next 30, 60 days, I think there's going to be huge opportunities to buy properties. Now, with that being said, the other thing that I think is going to happen, now it hasn't happened yet to my surprise, but the stock market hasn't really, what did it come down? It came down about 30%, then it's went back up a little bit in this month.
Well, that's
So
why we
actually,
have Emily on the call. Emily can answer that for you.
it's actually gone back up, but it's not to where it was pre-April 1. And the point I want to make on that is if we go into a major recession and we see some points taken off the Dow and everything else over the next 60, 90, maybe even 120 to, all the way to a year out, all that money that was in that stock market, they're going to be looking to reinvest it in different places like real estate. So there will be buyers. At this point, that's going to be more of the challenge. I know I've talked to many of you guys already, but I think that's going to be our bigger issue is not finding the properties, but finding the buyers in this market. But there's going to be a lot of tired landlords out there. I know I've seen some stuff that Tim Sai's been putting out there. And Tim, I know you got a whole group of investors that are sweating a little bit right now with all the stuff that's going on with the pandemic. And you can address that. I would love, first of all, Jacob, I'll answer any questions you have over this whatever time frame. And I'm on no schedule whatsoever. But I would love to hear Tim and Alfonso. And I didn't know they were going to be on the call.
Surprise.
I would love to have them share some stuff with you guys because these guys, Tim has become a mentor, a trainer. Literally, I've traveled the world with Tim and taught in New Zealand and I think Singapore and Australia. I know he's been in different places with me. And he's definitely a AAA 5-star whatever investor. And Alfonso, even though I haven't worked with him on a one-on-one basis, other than when we first met, he's knocking it out of the park. And he is a byproduct of everything that we teach or that I've always taught. So anything those guys would love to say, I got Mike and Melissa on here. This is awesome. I just love seeing some of the different people. So Jacob, I appreciate you putting this together.
Why,
This
thank
is
you.
awesome. Yeah. And so I really do appreciate it. And if I don't know you guys, I apologize. I don't know who some of you guys are, but I'm Pip. I live in Kansas City. I've been a student since 2002, mentored, and then obviously been a trainer for a long time. So
I thought you lived in Nebraska City.
I'm born and raised in Nebraska, but I live in Kansas City now.
I don't know if I feel bad for you or not. That's very lateral of a move of all places. Yeah.
Ray, what's up? I just saw Ray. That's beautiful. I just love seeing all different people. This is great.
Yeah, we had Tim and Ray on last week. They were fantastic. We had our Canadian Asians giving us a perspective, telling us about their real estate business that they've been doing and their education and how they've taken their model virtually. Eva's on. She shared last week. Same with Anita, who's also here. And who else is on here that's been with us? Emily's been with me every week. She was my co-brainstorm for all of this. And the idea behind what we're trying to get accomplished is everybody that's been sharing what we've been asking, and I'm asking you this too, Pip, except you've already answered and elaborated very articulately for an extended period of time and left me no reason to ask. But we're trying to see how to pivot the business model. And you keep saying something that I find very, very poignant. It's hard to find buyers right now. So I have been working on pivoting my business model to, I agree with you. Staying patient is absolutely essential. And what I've been doing is I've been taking the information we're getting from the CARES Act, and I'm presenting that to some of my high net worth clients, showing them what they can do, especially with the CARES Act disbursement section for the retirement, and how they can use that to invest in properties. And that helps build credibility. So in the down market, if you are just getting your business started, credibility is hard to establish, but by offering information, by supporting relationships, I do find that to be, I think that's the next currency that we all need to look for. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that, Pip?
Well, it's all about having that integrity at the end of the day. And you're saying the exact same thing I would always promote. You know, whatever you say you're going to do for somebody, just do it. You know, just if you promised. I was had a discussion this morning with one of the people on the phone this week, or this right now, Leanne, and I said, I stood up in front of you in January of this year, and I said, if you need help, I'm here to help you. And I know a lot of students don't want to reach out because they feel like they're bothering people. Mm-hmm. I would love to tell you how many emails that Alfonso sent me in the first few weeks first few months that I knew him. And it was an insane amount of emails. And I don't know if Alfonso's even still on the call with us, but it was a lot of different contact. And there's nothing wrong with that. And so I want to make sure that you guys understand there's always going to be somebody there to hold your hand. I've got Anita's son. Anita's son came to a class with me. And I think it was December. I'm guesstimating. I think it was right before the holidays, December. And Anita and Sam were so gracious to let their son want to learn from me. And I told him, you know, you ask me any questions you want. I know sometimes people feel bad for asking me questions, but I'm always here. I think most of you guys know how to get in touch with me. I don't do questions and answers on Facebook because
you don't know how to work it. Let's just be honest.
I'm not going to do that. But I'll do it through my and if you have questions on how to get in touch with me, Jacob knows how to get in touch with me and all that kind of. Colin, I'm just now seeing people. This is awesome. Eva, Anita, this is awesome. Well, I'm like a squirrel or like a dog looking at squirrels here. Squirrel. Alfonso's still on. It's awesome. Leo, do I know Leo Cardenas?
No.
I shouldn't know him.
He's
from San Antonio. I know Leo. Of course I know Leo. Yes. I'm just trying to think oh my gosh, this is awesome. This is making and if I don't say your name out, I apologize. Tim Sy looks a little different. That's Ray, but that's okay. It's all good. And so I think as long as, if you're putting information out there, don't try to be the expert. I think that's the wrong way to look at things. Because I would love to, every time I stand up in front of a group of people and talk, I say I'm not the smartest guy in the room.
Clearly.
God gave us 2 ears versus 1 mouth. Use them in that ratio. You're going to be all right. I think it's very important to listen more than we talk. Now, if you can solve a problem for somebody, and that's whether it's going to be a seller, a buyer, a tenant buyer, doesn't matter. That's what they want, is you to solve a problem. And if you solve enough people's problems, you're going to get everything that you want. And I think that's so relevant in everything that we do, is solving people's problems. So, Jacob, I really would like to just has Alfonso been on a call with you before today?
No, Alfonso has not gotten on a call with me yet. Alfonso.
This is a guy you need to talk to. Alfonso, are you still on? I don't even know. I can't.
Yes,
I can't
still
keep
here.
up. I can't keep up with everybody. That's awesome. And Lucy, I saw your name come up. Obviously, Amanda and Jesus, I see all you guys. I'm just trying to think all these people. So if you could, Alfonso, when we first met, you were sent me like I don't know how many emails. It was a lot. Yeah.
Definitely. Yep.
I would like you to just talk about the hurdles you had to overcome a little bit at the beginning. I mean, because this is motivation, and this guy's doing tons of deals in a market that is higher priced than LA or San Francisco. I'm being upfront with you guys. It definitely more than LA, San Francisco, depending on where you're at in Toronto. but definitely the same price as LA, because the Toronto area, Hamilton, those are high priced properties. We're not talking $30,000 properties in Indianapolis. 30, 300, 400, $600,000 properties. Is that right, Alfonso?
Yeah. Our most average price range is anywhere between 4 to 600,000 typically.
And so give them just I didn't even know Alfonso was going to be on here, so now I'm going to use him, but that's okay. Give them some thoughts, concerns, even in this market, what you're seeing. You're obviously out in the market doing this, and Canada's no different than the US when it comes to challenges. So what advice can you give these guys that are on here right now?
Yeah.
I love hearing a different perspective than mine.
Absolutely. And thanks so much for putting this together, Jacob and Pip. It's so amazing to see you. And when, like Pip, like you can use me all you need, Pip, because every time that I either close a deal or I give someone advice about real estate, I just think of what you were able to do for me in my life and the people around me and my loved ones. So I'm forever indebted. And I'm one day going to build a statue 100 times the size of you one day. I promise you, wherever you want it, in Missouri, in Kansas City, wherever.
It'll be perfect. So many birds can go and poop on it all the time.
but listening to what Pip said today was, the fundamentals and looking at history and like before Pip got started in real estate, he listened to mentors that got started that were in real estate. And before those people got started, they listened to somebody and followed along. So it's really reaching out to the network, the people that are on this call, people like Jacob that are getting people together in a room, talking about fears, talking about hurdles, and how we're all overcoming it. Because there's not one thing that I can say or Pip can say or Jacob will say that's going to solve everything, but our collective thoughts together and different views and opinions on the certain market. What are you doing here? What are you doing there? So what we're doing from a lease option standpoint, and up until like January, February of this year, end of last year, we were probably doing about anywhere between 7 to 10 lease options or rent to own deals per month. So that's really slowed down in terms of in March, April, and now May. And what we're doing is really taking a step back and analyzing our current business model, our processes, strengthening the things that we were already doing, putting further steps in place. And then when we're going out to the market, we're going to look at, and like Pip said, whoever's giving you advice on what's going to happen or what you should do now, they're lying, or they're not, or they're believe their own Kool-Aid, or what is it? They drink their own Kool-Aid, right? Is that really, we're just taking it step by step. Like the clients that we are, like, again, we closed on another one on Friday, but their income is still working. They're currently still working through the pandemic and have solid income. And further tightening our methods on what to do in the future. But yeah, people are still buying and selling. I think there's going to be a lot of pent up demand. I think a lot of people are still immigrating to where I am in the world. So people want to be here. So what Mr. Stehlik said a week after I met him for the first time, real estate isn't a trend. It's not going to go out of style. People need somewhere to live. And I don't know. I'm just super excited to see the man today and share this info. So
I just like Mr. Stehlik. That makes me feel pretty old, Alfonso, but that's okay. I'll let it go this time.
Well, now you got glasses. Now you're wearing glasses, so it has been a while.
I can't see the chat box over here. So yeah, it is tough to get old. That's for sure.
Yep.
Hey, Pip.
Hey,
isn't
what?
it nice to know you're still not the oldest one on the call?
Yeah, well, I figured that when I saw Honey Badger on there. I got you and Eva, and I know I'm never going to be older than you two guys.
Well,
Oh,
there you
Lord.
have it.
You'll also never be prettier than them, so that's okay.
Well, I'm good with that.
Love you, Jacob.
I was never
Wow.
pretty. I was never prettier than them to start with. So but I'll never be older than either one of them. That's good to know.
I'll give you that on Eva.
Okay.
So there's something that so part of these calls is to actually share some experiences that we've gone through that actually bring us together as a community and the vulnerability that goes behind it. So what we're creating here is what we were trying to do at the symposiums and at the 3-day basics is get you guys to network with one another so you can use each other's skills and experiences to build your own credibility right now. Pip has been saying several times that the buyer's list is the hardest thing to do. So the little tip I gave about sharing information, like Marlon's been doing. Hey, Marlon, you're like a rock star in the making, buddy. He's been, actually, Marlon, are you unmuting yourself?
I can.
There he is. There you are. Hey, buddy. How long? When did you start taking training?
I started at the end of October.
Okay, so you've
It
been
was
like
October 27th.
October 27th.
I know exactly when he came in the program, and we were at a hotel at the Marriott right in Times Square, right, Marlon?
the
If you
marquee.
remember, I remember it.
That's exactly where we were.
Well, one thing I wanted to compliment Marlon on is he has been taking initiative to go and learn about what's going on with the CARES Act. Marlon, will you please share with everybody what you've been doing with that information?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been deep diving into understanding the CARES Act, into understanding the EIDL loans and the PPP. And I've been putting together these videos online and just posting them to my Facebook to really help people understand, because a lot of people, they get pretty overwhelmed. But we have to remember our network on Facebook, they're our friends. So when they see our faces, they're not going to scroll past like they do every other article and every other post. So they've been tapping into it, and a lot of people have now been getting the information that they easily could have just gone to the website, because I'm just sourcing the information directly from the website. They could have just gone to the website and read, but they just felt like it was too overwhelming. So I'm bringing the information to them, and it's providing a lot in value for them, because now they're saying, oh, wow, I could be signing up for this. Like, yeah, you can be. And it's also allowing me to let them know what it is I'm doing, and to let them know that I take this very seriously.
And
so
just by doing that, you are building credibility within your database. So people are looking to you as someone that's a role model, as a guide that they can trust, you know, with integrity, as Pip has been saying. So do you see how that's building your credibility, even if you're not going out and buying a property today?
Absolutely, big time.
So coming from October, I want to let you know, just even by doing that has been incredible. Hey, Pip, look who's coming in now. So just because you have had, you took what we said, find something of value and offer to people, and that is actually going to allow you to build credibility right now. I've done the same things, and it's been very helpful for what I'm trying to create. Now, I do want to give Pip a compliment. It's only going to happen once. So, Pip, it's filmed, but I'm going to deny it after this. Okay. So for those of you who are scared of messing up, if you're scared of messing up, or you're scared of getting started trying something new, would you mind raising your hand so we can see who actually is participating and not asleep right now? Or on Facebook, give it a like or some sort of something so I know who's there. I'm going to share something that is bigger than a property. And it's about the support of a community and a network, and it happens to involve Mr. Pip Stehlik. So when I went through a life transition last year and had found myself single and trying to get back on my feet, I had to move quickly. And I would not have been able to do that had I not learned how to do a lease option with Mr. Pip Stehlik. Now, the funny thing is, it went horribly wrong. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong with this transaction for me. I don't even know if I told Pip all of this story. Have I told you what happened after we spoke in Naples?
I think so. Yeah, I think you told me. I think you shared the story with me.
Did I tell you about the gun?
No, maybe not the. Okay, I missed it. Yeah, I thought it was something.
Yeah.
That, my bad.
Yeah, you were talking to somebody else. It was fine. It was cool. Whatever. Check your nails. It's fine. So yeah, so I got this property that I got put under contract as for sale by owner, and a dear friend of mine who's an investor gave me the down payment for the non-option refundable consideration. And I took this property over in hopes to move into it. But I still needed to get out of my current situation, and that was taking time. So I had 4 months pre-occupancy, pre-closing, thanks to my lease option. And I decided to rent it out. I was going to cash flow. Their security deposits are going to cover my my next pay portion of my escrow money. It was brilliant. It was awesome. They were coworkers moving into the area, blah, 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 blah. Well, they were insurance adjusters, and they were waiting for the next catastrophe. I did not realize this, but when I went back into the house after they came to look through it, there was a box in the closet, and there was a gun in the box. And I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I sent the landlord a message going, just so you know, there's a gun in the closet. You guys might have left it. I'm not a gun person, right? She responds back, we don't own a gun. What do you mean there's a gun in the closet? Uh-oh. Well, turns out that one of the ladies that decided to move in, She had to conceal and carry, didn't tell me about it, and wasn't carrying it with her. So here I just outed the fact that we had a gun in the home that I was controlling, and I had no idea about it to the landlord. It got ridiculous. Needless to say, every transaction has their issues behind it. But because I tried doing this lease option, and because I actually worked into the deal, I now gained a new mortgage broker, a new appraiser, a new inspector. I learned how to structure a lease. By the way, always have a lease. Don't let that go, period. It was absolutely amazing just by trying it. Even though the transaction failed, going through the activity was so enlightening. I came out better for it. So does anybody else have any stories of failed transactions they want to share?
Yeah, I met this guy named Jacob.
Oh, you smart ass. Mm-hmm.
Then all downhill from there.
Right, it all is. It usually does, yeah. Fred Dumar's in the house. Hello, Fred. How are you? Unmute yourself, handsome. Or don't, whatever.
No, there I am. There I am. I'm unmuted. Yeah, I joined late. I was taking care of the general. He had other things for me to do, but decided to pop in and see what you folks were talking about. Good to see everybody.
Great to see you too, Fred.
Hey, Nita.
No, that one was Kim. That was the other Southerner.
Oh, Lord.
I know we sound so much alike.
You kind of do.
We do. All those Southern accents run together, don't they?
How many deals you got going on today, girls?
Which girl?
Both of you. How many deals? How many deals you got going on is what I want to know. You guys don't do deals. You do deals.
Well, I closed 2 this past week, and I got 3 under contract now.
But Anita, don't you underplay this. What deal did you just close? You need to brag a bit.
We just closed on a small mobile home park with room for expansion.
See, that's not a wholesale transaction. Congratulations. That's sexy.
Thank you.
Trailer cash is wonderful. What about you, Kimmy? What are you working on?
55 and older mobile home park development community. It's
The
all
compound.
but septic tanks and homes in it now. So we're at the stage where we're fixing to start selling out the homes. And I've partnered up with an 82-year-old guy that knows more about the business than I ever will. And you talk about finding the right place at the right time, guys. Partner up with people. There's so many people out there with projects already going that just want some extra youth and energy to be injected into their deals. And yes, some people consider me young. Pip.
Not me.
But that's what I'm working on now.
And Eva also is on the call. She's doing a deal right now as well in Tucson, I believe.
Oh, it's done deal. It's locked in.
It's did.
It's done did.
It's done and did. That's right.
But it's actually student housing. It's our first foray into student housing, and we are looking to create one of the homes. Each home has about 6 or 7 bedrooms, so we're looking to do social housing in one of the homes and really, create a nice social give back in one way or another. So we're exploring that transition.
I call dibs. I want it over here.
Dibs?
Yeah, I call dibs. Yeah, make it work.
Yeah, well, get your act together so we can really help your community. I'm excited to be able to partner up with you on that. So, yeah, we just got to get through the shelter in place and get it going.
See, this is the interesting part I'm wanting everybody to see. For those of you who are, you're welcome, Alfonso. For those of you who are trying to see what's going on, if you were looking to buy in your backyard right now, or you're looking to invest in Anchorage, Alaska, it's the same process right now. You're going to have to do it all virtually. You're going to make the phone calls to the agents and to the inspector. It doesn't even matter anymore. So all the excuses you have of wanting to invest in your backyard are now gone. So if you invest where people are buying because you have the buyers there, you're going to be just fine. So I want you guys to go ahead and try to make connections with people who are currently buying. Tim Sy, are you there?
I'm here.
What is your criteria for your buying, handsome? What are you guys looking to purchase right now?
We're finishing up a couple of development projects right now. We're doing a refi on one of the single family homes and looking at a couple of rooming houses over in the UK still.
Okay. And so you're also still investing in the UK while you're in Canada. And here,
Yes.
people in the States are just terrified to go across the border of a couple of states. You're going transcontinental.
Well, thanks to Pip. A few years ago, he goes, "Did you know that you can still get a single family place over there for 35,000 pounds? I'm like, "No, I didn't. We're going." That's how it started. What the man says goes, right?
Well, yes, actually, he's not too shabby. He's not too shabby, I think.
Yeah, most days.
No.
No, I don't know.
So this is gonna be fun. So I want everybody to watch the participant chat box for now. So if you can participate, please get ready to. We're gonna be doing the same thing on Facebook. We're gonna show you guys. I'm gonna show you guys the value of your network that you have right here on this call at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard, 3:30, whatever time it is. So watch the participants. Now, if you're gonna raise your hand when I ask this question. If you are currently looking for properties, raise your hand. So Anita's the only one looking to buy properties right now. Really? Where are the rest of you? And why are you even here? I'm gonna smack Anita. Do I have to raise my hand? I think mine's automatically. Okay. Big Papa, Michelle Cook, Pam, Amanda. Okay, now you're paying attention. Okay, now let's walk this way. How many of you guys are looking? Now, great. Now lower your hands. All of you should have had your hands raised for that. Now, what about how many of you guys are looking for buyers right now? Raise your hand. I don't see a hand raise emoji, that helps. Always. Okay, good, we're getting somewhere. Okay, is we still the same 4 who know how to work the hand raising file? Okay. And then, now put your hand back down, lovely. Now, how many of you guys are looking for power team members? Raise your hand. Good, so we're starting to get some activity here. Okay, do you notice that you guys who are looking for power team members have them here in this call? Some of you guys who are looking for properties have people buying properties right now in this call, for those of you looking for buyers. For people who are looking for sellers, they are here. Everyone is in this room. Everyone in these calls, they either have capital, have connections, have properties. It's up to you to make the connections and to put the deal together. Don't worry about knowing everything in a transaction because you're never going to. They're going to be fluid, but because of the connections that we have here with experts like Pip, like Tim, like Kim, like Eva, they are going to be able to help you get these transactions closed. So just go ahead, reach out, share emails, and let's try to get everything going. If you go ahead and like us on Real Talk, which is, I have that link on my Facebook, that's where we're holding all these calls so you guys can actually stay and get things going. So we can stay in touch and start getting the deals closed together and actually network. So Pip, can you tell me what markets you're looking in and why, namely why mine?
Well, mostly wherever you live, Jacob, I'm trying to get there because I know you've probably already ticked off all those people. So I can come in and look like the savior. That's why I'm doing your market.
I appreciate it.
No, I like Florida. I'm a big fan of Florida, and I've already owned property there and stuff. So I'm a little wondering what's going to happen with, Disney and all that kind of stuff. So that will be interesting. But nonetheless, I like Florida. I think Texas is a great market. Anita lives in probably, in my opinion, if you had to put everything together, the number one market in the United States, in my opinion, is Dallas, Fort Worth, just overall. And from an investor standpoint, and I could give you a million different reasons why. But nonetheless, prices are still fairly good there and are fairly inexpensive compared to places like Toronto or LA or things like that, San Francisco. Yeah, but they have a great job market there, and weather's way above average. So I think Dallas, Texas is great. Couple off the wall ones that I've been researching, doing some stuff on are Huntsville, Alabama. I think there's a lot of opportunities there. I wanted to see if I could get further south than Kim. That was my goal there because she's, in Georgia. I want to see Alabama. It's a little further south down there, I think. Anyway, so I think Huntsville, Alabama is an opportunity. And I'm not saying that there's any bad places. It's just there's opportunities everywhere. Leo's in San Antonio. I think Texas overall is an investor-friendly place, whereas some states are not as investor-friendly. And I've got two of them and I'm not knocking these places, but both California and New York, they put extra levels of challenges on you, and that's not bad. Eva's made tons of money in California. I got students doing a lot of things in New York, but I'm just saying they make it a little harder. There are some markets that I probably wouldn't touch right now because they went up so fast, and I think you're going to see them come down really fast here, but I'm not ready to invest in them because I think we're at that peak coming down, and one of those would be Denver, Colorado. Love Denver. Colorado's one of my favorite places to go, but I think you're going to see it really come down. I would be interested to hear. I haven't talked to Tim and Ray much, but I got to think with the oil price the way it is that Alberta, that whole province, Alberta, Calgary, or probably Edmonton and Calgary are probably going to see some serious declines in property. I don't know if you're seeing that. I can see you, Tim, and stuff. I don't know if you shake your head, whatever. But I gotta assume that's going to happen. I don't know that.
Yeah. It already kind of happened since the last downturn starting in 2015. And we fared it pretty well. Calgary, not so much. Edmonton's always been a bit more diversified for sure.
Yeah, I mean, every market has its challenges, but every market has its opportunities too. I have to say personally, I'm just more of a fan of the warmer weather states, just because if I gotta make a business trip somewhere, I might as well, instead of going and seeing Tim up in Edmonton where it's really cold. I don't know if anybody knows this, but the one time I was in Edmonton, I did not know that minus 40 degrees centigrade or Celsius was the same as minus 40 Fahrenheit. And no human being should actually know that information, because you should never be in an area that's minus 40 anything.
What do you mean? It's a fridge magnet for us.
Oh my gosh. I just couldn't believe it. Yeah. But no, I just tend to, look at warmer states. But when I first started, 99% of my stuff when I first started was in Nebraska, where I was born and raised. So you can always start where you're at and work your way out. Marlon, I don't remember where you live, but New York City, and when I say New York City, Manhattan, that place is a different world there. It's definitely a challenge that a lot of places don't have. But I think all the boroughs, Long Island is completely fine. Staten Island's fine. I mean, you got a lot of opportunities there. I know I got people on the phone call from Staten Island and stuff, or on the Facebook thing. I just think there's a lot of opportunities. We can always try to get stuck in a certain area. I think at the end of the day, you're going to be okay. One of the things I think is going to be a growth area, and people aren't really thinking much about this, but haven't talked much about it. At some point, people are going to go back to colleges. They're going to go back to universities and stuff. But I think one of the things that's going to change with this whole pandemic is more leniency, more desire to live off campus instead of a dorm. I think the dorm living is going to change because of all of this that we're going through right now. And nobody's talking about that. But I think it's going to change, which is going to give us.
I'm talking about it, baby. I'm talking about it. I am psyched because having these off-campus properties is going to just blow up.
Well,
I'll save one for Jacob.
Huge opportunity there, just because I think even if the dorms go back, they're not going to be back at the same capacity that they were at pre-pandemic, pre-COVID-19. I just don't see that happening. Parents aren't going to allow it, for one, with their, it's just going to change that dynamic of the dorm life, which means student housing is going to give us a huge opportunity that, we didn't have before, I think, or a difference that an opportunity rather than a downside. I own some Airbnbs, and it's been an interesting couple of months for me. There's no doubt about that. I could give you a story from last night. I have an Airbnb right by Disney. It's in Kissimmee. It's not in your market, Jacob, a little ways from you. And so I get a call from this lady, and she's telling me she's going to call the sheriff on me because there's a party going on at my Airbnb. I'm like, I didn't even know there's anybody in the Airbnb at this point. Well, long story short, talked to the property manager. And what had happened was, if you're, at least in Florida, I can't speak for other states, if you're doing Airbnb right now, somebody's got to write a letter saying why they need your short-term rental. And it's got to be go through a process. So we had these 3 ladies who were all nurses that needed to rent out our Airbnb in Kissimmee. And they were caring for somebody, a grandparent who had COVID-19. Well, grandpa or grandma, I don't remember which it was, passed away last week. Sad to say. But these 3 ladies, they brought everybody in. They had a party because they were celebrating life for grandma or grandpa that passed away. And the neighbors called us on it. Now, when everything was all said and done, the dust cleared, everybody got a good laugh out of it because it's just an odd situation. But there's opportunities. I turned one of my short-term rentals into a whole month of June rental that you probably would have been empty. It's another one by Disney there. I think there's just, as long as you keep aware of that, I can't even imagine. I'm getting a PPP check tomorrow or Wednesday. I didn't even know. I'm not a government handout guy, but my accountant said, you qualify for this amount. We just got to fill out the paperwork. Okay. So I filled out the paperwork and I got a call from my banker today. Check should be deposited tomorrow or Wednesday. It's just a different world out there. So I think, Marlon, you're taking advantage of educating people on this. I didn't know anything about the PPP. I did know that it was out there. So I delegated it. I said to my accountant, is there anything we can get on this? He does. I don't know. I'll check. I didn't want to go through all those forms either, Marlon. So I know it's a lot of work, but somebody else did it for me. Did I pay a little bit of money? Yeah, but the check that I'm going to get is going to be probably 100 times what I paid my accountant to do that, which is awesome. I don't know if any of you guys have employees in your business, but I know Canadians, I don't think you have the same programs, but in the US we have that program. And if you have a small business, there's PPP money out there and it's still being paid out. I was concerned because I think a week or 2 ago, they said all the SBA money had been loaned out. They weren't going to loan out anymore. Well, then now they're still doing it. I'm not quite sure where all the money's going, where it's coming from. I just know that there's opportunity out there. And as long as you keep your ears open and you keep moving forward a little bit each day, whatever that means. If it's one more offer for somebody who's just starting, if it's one more tenant buyer you're talking to, if it's one more purchase buyer you're talking to, there's just so many things you can do. I know when this first happened, and I probably shouldn't get into the political side of this. I'm not a guy, and I'm sure there are, Jacob asked me to talk, so I'm going to talk.
That was my first mistake.
Well, I'm just saying, and I'm sure there are people in this Facebook group right now. And Jacob, one thing I'm going to do as soon as if you guys want me to, I'll be happy to and I'm going to put up just my personal email. I know most of you guys have my legacy email. Some of you guys have other emails for me, but I'll put up my email and anybody can ask me questions whenever they want. That's never a problem. I don't care when it is. I'd like to know how many emails Colin York has sent me. It may be one of the records out there. I don't know if you can hear me, Colin, but you definitely have a lot of them.
I'm losing track.
Yeah. Paul and I will have like a 10 emails a day kind of thing. It's just back and forth. It's almost like instant messaging. So anyway.
I can't thank you enough for the amount of help that you've given me. I know I'm still working on that first deal, the one that I sent you that's on the bay right now. We actually had 2 buyers now that have signed the agreement. I finally was able to not convince, but basically assure the seller that this was going to be the only way he was going to be able to sell it. So those buyers will be taking the property subject to the existing financing. And
beautiful.
Work out, there was a riparian issue, there was a rights to the water issue and everything like that. So this is the only way they're going to do it. They're going to take 20 grand down. I'm going to get 7.5. They're going A to C. I'm taking out of the middle, but C has promised they're going to pay my fee. All we need to do is get the seller to sign off on it and go to escrow, and we should be closing my first deal finally.
What's funny about this guy right here, when I met him, I think his background is acting, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Modeling and acting, that kind of thing?
Yep.
And you just sounded very intelligent about real estate there with the A and the B and the C. I was impressed by the way you just explained that. If I would have asked you that question a year ago, you'd have been like, what is he talking about? Like a whole new language, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's cool, though. Yeah. So anyway, and I was starting to go off on a tangent here, and I don't want to in any way make anybody mad. But, my opinion of the whole COVID-19, and I know I have not had anybody that I know personally pass away from this. And I'm sure that many of you guys have had somebody pass away. And I know it's dangerous and all that kind of stuff. But what I also realize is that where we live in America, and even my Canadians will feel the same way, is that we have freedoms. And I want to make sure that I feel my freedoms are being, and I'm sure, too bad Fred, I don't know if Fred's still on the call or not, but he would appreciate this. You know, those freedoms are out there so that we can go buy property. We can go to a restaurant. As long as we do it safely, it's all cool. We're still doing deals day in and day out. I have a brother that does the Omaha Lincoln market, you know, in Nebraska, and he's done 6 properties since the COVID thing. I mean, and so it just depends. You don't have to quit doing business because they told us we have to stay home. So much of this is done with your computer, your phone, virtual closings, the DocuSign. You don't have to be across from somebody to do this. So don't use that as an excuse. I have to admit, the first week, I was down in Florida for the first week of the pandemic, and I was doing some stuff for Legacy online. And I was sitting in a hotel room by myself. And I have to admit, I got a little depressed because I was thinking, really, what is going on? And it was the first week for everybody. But then I realized I have the ability to make those choices to change my attitude and keep working through this and keep doing what I need to do to be successful. So I think for all of you guys, as long as you just keep doing what you're doing, if you have to change the way you're doing it a little bit, that's fine. I mean, I would have never guessed a month ago I would be on a Facebook, whatever this is. This is Zoom, not Facebook, but whatever. Is it? What is it?
This is called social media platform syndication, but you can call it Zoom.
I'll call it whatever. Well, I just got a link and I clicked it. I would have never thought I was going to be on something like this a month ago. And if that's a way that I can see Alfonso and Nick and some of you guys, this just makes my day, because I don't get a chance to see some of you guys on a regular basis. So Jacob, I'm available for more of this kind of stuff. And like I said, I'll put my email in the chat box. But if you ever have a question, and Jacob, they can just do my personal email if you're having problems getting through to any other emails, because I know I got lots of emails out there. My Legacy email still works for everybody. But if you ever have questions, so the people that don't know me and haven't had me as a trainer, I'm just going to put it up there, and it's just pipstehlik@gmail.com. It's really not a hard email to find. I'm a real high security guy, Jacob.
I can tell that. So it is it's after 4. So I want to make sure we know that, because I promised you guys this is an hour-long conversation. So if those of you who have to go, you certainly may. But if you would like to stay on, we will continue the conversation. But I wanted to honor everybody's time for that. Now,
so my email's in the chat box, Jacob, if they need it. So anybody can email me questions. If I didn't know you before this call, please just kind of introduce yourself, where you're from, so I can kind of get an idea how I can help you. Okay.
Would there be a certain evening? So, for example, Thursday evenings, what I try to have people do for some people who would like to take additional training, we try to have some of the guests come on and actually do a little education. Would you be available on a Thursday evening to talk with people and go through lease options with them?
Yep.
What time on Thursday evening would you be available?
This Thursday?
Sure, why not? Before people forget you.
Yeah, I'm easily forgettable. Well, you guys tell me we've got. What's the best time? What's the best time to
8 p.m. I do 8 p.m. so it's 5 p.m. on Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, so the people in the Pacific can be off work.
Dustin, is that okay if we're 5 o'clock Pacific? I just want to make sure, because I got some San Diego people on the phone, and so I just want to make sure. I'm on the best time zone. I'm right in the middle, so I won't be. I mean, if 9 o'clock Eastern is better than 8, I'll do that. If you tell them 8, just send out a whatever thing you need to do, and we'll go from there. Okay.
So if you guys are interested in coming, it'll be 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, because Honey needs a facial and a nap, and it's long enough. But we do have more discussion that we continue on Real Talk and see what's going on there, guys. So do you have any final thoughts you'd like to add, Pip?
No, I think the best thing for me to be able to do is no different than any of the rest of you guys. I will just send me specific questions, and I'll help you in any way that I possibly can. And like some of these guys already know, I always answer the questions within 24 hours. So I will be there to answer them for you. that's probably better than doing a question and answer time right now. But I'll do that, Jacob. But I'm just saying, it's probably easier to do it one-off because some of you may not have the same questions, and I want to make sure that I'm there to answer for everybody.
So for those of you who have not met or who are not part of Legacy, then you probably don't understand some of the references. But what Pip is known for is for being a lease option expert. He has done many things, but he will be educating us on lease options Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now that brings me to my segue to the next big thing. For those of you who were paying attention last week, I told you about I've come up with an idea that I've been wanting to do for a while, and now we are finally putting it together. So as we've been saying, the power of a community goes beyond just one deal. In fact, a community can change the entire nation. It can change the fabric of our culture. As we are living through right now, we are seeing that the environment in which we conduct real estate is changing. So what we are going to be doing on Friday, I'm going to be making an announcement where anyone who wants to participate is will be more than welcome to. We are going to be doing some sort of transaction together if you are interested in doing this together, and you're going to enjoy this little game. We have released the name. It is called Real Estate Survivor Quarantine Edition, and we are going to let you come in and be a part of the game. The idea is to have you partnered up with individuals who are currently buying in today's market, as well as giving you the tools that you already have, most of you, and show you how to use them so you can build it in your market at the same time. Therefore, you're not so scared and you have someone actually holding your hands through the transaction. It will be a competition, and the competition is not exactly what you might think, but it's going to go further than one transaction to building a business, and it's going to culminate in actually creating a nonprofit housing in your market. So I'm not going to say anything more than that, otherwise you won't have any reason to come back on Wednesday. But on Wednesday at 3 o'clock, we are going to be joined by a girlfriend of mine who I adore. Where did I just put her? I wanted to read her bio, but I forgot where I put it. Anyway, so never mind. But we are going to be joined by one of my favorite investors who is also in Canada. She and her partner were with Elite Legacy back in the day. Oh my dear God. But do you know Rochelle Lafame?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They now have net worth of, they have assets under holding for 60 million, starting off as a divorcee and I don't remember what her partner did. I think it was an accountant. So they're going to be joining us on Wednesday, sharing us with women entrepreneurship and LGBTQ diversity, which is what we are going to be doing on our Wednesday calls. Friday, we're going to be joined by Mr. Fred Dumar, the Colonel himself, and he's going to be talking about leadership in these times. So we have a great week ready for you guys, and we are going to be telling you more about what's coming down the pipeline on Wednesday. So are you guys excited? You a little bit happy about this? Oh, good. I love it. Fabulous. It's going to get better and better, guys, because we are going to get better. Let people know what we're doing. Share it. But remember, this is your community. You need to protect it. So only let people in that you know, like, and trust. Got it? No dicks allowed here, unless you were born with one. All right, guys. Hey, it's my show. I'm not up with HR. I can say this stuff. Thank you very much. Tips over there building. Oh, Kip, you're so sweet. Anyway, guys, have a wonderful day. Use this information to grow, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Mwah. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, Jacob.
Thank you, Pip, so
Thanks,
much.
y'all. Thanks,
Man,
Kip.
good to see
Thanks,
you again.
Jacob.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.